welcome back to Life as Mrs. C.
Hi, my name is Ruth.
And my name is Lydia. We have yet another exciting episode today, continuing our questions to ask before you get into a courtship, and we're doing part 2 today. Please, if you haven't watched the first one, click there and it will take you to our first video. Yes. So, well, before, taking much of your time, we'll get through to it. So the first point is relationships. Ruth, tell us about it. Yeah.
There's a lot in this. So relationships encompasses a lot of things. So I think the first question you want to know is that person married? Because if they're married, you know that they're out of the picture, so you don't need to waste your time.
Red card.
Exactly. Yeah, absolutely. Red card off the table. And then you want to know what type of relationship, what relationships have they been in? I'm a little bit nosy. I want to know details. I want to know why did you go out with them in the first place? Why did it not work? I want to know details of all your previous relationships. I know some people are like, it's none of your business, but for me, I want to know. What about you? Would you want to know?
Yes, I would. I mean, if we're considering, actually going out, I would want to know.
Yeah, exactly. I want to know.
Because you never know. They might have, people who are not over them.
Yes. Yeah. Because then you want to know, is there still baggage? Maybe they're like, I want to move on, but that guy is still chasing them. They're like, no, we're not over. And so they're bringing problems into your relationship.
Yeah.
What else in terms of relationship? Maybe friends. Like their friendship circle, the friends that they keep. Tell me more about your friends. But then over time, these are questions you ask, but then there are also things that you observe. You observe the interaction with friends, what they tell you about their friends. So I think, that's it about relationships.
I think also checking if, they're divorced or,
like if
they were
They were once married and then they've divorced. Yeah.
I think those are important things to know. All right, it will take us into the second point, which is goals. Knowing where you are going. Obviously, I'm not saying now you begin to quiz each other. So what's the time frame? How long is this going to take? Because you're just considering that person, but you also need to know, where are they taking you? What's their overall goal? What is it that they want to achieve in this relationship? Obviously we had shared our courtship stories, and one thing we had highlighted was the fact that there was clarity. There was goals. That, I mean, when Tumelo told you, he was like, I want somebody to actually, I'm not just talking to you as a way of chatting you up, but I want somebody to get into a relationship with. Obviously for me it was a bit different, but definitely you want to know where
what their mindset is, what are they thinking, what is their long-term goals. And I think you don't always need to put, I mean, for me, I like to know timelines. So not like, okay, you want, the end goal is marriage, which is why you're getting into a relationship in the first place, I would hope. And if the end game is marriage, when do you see yourself getting married? It doesn't necessarily need to be us, because maybe we haven't identified that we're compatible. But when would you like to see yourself getting married? Because then it just helps to lessen any confusion in the future.
That's so true. It's good to know where you're going, so that you're all you each know what to do,
what the direction is, even though things may change, but you need to know. That's true.
Which leads us into the third point, which is accountability. Would you like to
elaborate? Accountability. And I think this one can be can be so undervalued, because I think people are, accountability, okay, well, it can be so undervalued. I think sometimes it can be undervalued because at the beginning you're so in love with each other. You're like, oh, I love this guy, I love this girl.
You being in love with each other.
Well, but you know what I mean. Like, there's different kinds of butterflies. I still get butterflies, but they're not the same butterflies I used to get.
Yeah, that's true.
So like, you are so focused on each other that sometimes there may be some blind spots that you don't see.
Yeah.
So accountability, in a sense of, do you have accountability? Do you have somebody who's able to look into your life and help to direct you and to help to sharpen you? And this is godly accountability, not just any godly accountability, somebody who's sound in the word of God. And then do they also have accountability? And I think do they have accountability, for me, is especially in marriage, I valued it so much because you're like, is there somebody I can go to and speak to about some of our issues who this man or this woman, if it's the other way, respects and they will listen to? Because sometimes your partner may just be like, you're just talking, but when this person speaks, because they've been speaking into their life for a long time, they have got this accountability. You know, it can help in so many ways. So I really, really value it. Is there someone this person looks up to if they decided to derail in life and start doing some nonsense? Is there somebody who can be like, you need to get back? That one, don't underestimate.
Yeah, I mean, it's good to know if, you know, the person that you want to get into a relationship with, you know, is accountable to somebody else. Obviously, when you start the relationship, the two of you, you'll be sort of like accountable to each other. But then they should be like external people that you're accountable, somebody that you can go to and say, you know what, Lydia, I can't see Lydia moving very well. What do you think? Are you able to have a sit down with her and, you know, like, she can listen? Yeah, that's actually very important. Which brings us to our fourth point, which is about job and school. You know, finding out, are they working? Do they have intentions of going to school, or are they in school? And what plans do they have? Because, you know, sometimes I feel like people have plans when they're in relationships, and then we have preconceived ideas to say, oh, I'm going to do this, I'm going to do that, of which there is nothing wrong. But then you have to communicate, because there are times people come up with situations where, like, oh, I've gotten a scholarship to go abroad, or I'm looking for a job which is going to be, you know, like in another town, and then if you're considering your relationship to be heading a certain way, how do you see yourself fitting into that plan,
that picture?
You know, because I think, like, for us, before we actually started, like, we talked about it, even like relocating.
You know, that was a very high possibility.
We did talk about it. Like, he asked me from a friend point of view. I don't know, I was so blind. Like, I couldn't
know that someone was doing some
say,
checking.
like, this guy is now making his moves. I think Chamba played some chess with me.
We need to ask him.
So, you know, you need to find out, and finding out what job somebody is doing is not so that you can gauge their pockets or, you know, start thinking, okay, how much do they get?
So how many pairs of shoes can I have?
You know, some of us will have shoes, but anyway. So I think it's important to know.
Definitely.
Because sometimes you can also just find that somebody doesn't want to do anything. So you have to ask them, if you don't want to do anything, then how do you expect to eat?
Sleep. You want us to have children? How? No, I think it's and even the basics, like, do you have a job? Do you know, what are your intentions when it comes to work? Because you're gonna intend to live together, and somebody gotta pay the bills. Somebody, obviously. So, exactly.
Have to do
so no, you can't neglect that one. Nice one. Get in there. Surely.
Get in there.
All right.
Do you want to do medical conditions?
All right, I'll do this one. So I think the other question I would want to know is, does somebody have any medical conditions? Now, this can be quite sensitive, but I think as it's not something I would ask on a first date, but as you start to get to know someone over time, you don't have to wait for them to ask you, because sometimes it can be quite hard for people to come up to you and tell you, but always have it in your mind, because what you want to know is, do they have any medical conditions? And if they do, what sort of medical condition is it? There are other medical conditions like addictions, which, for example, you may not think, you're like, okay, I was addicted to this, but I'm no longer addicted to this. But then now you need to talk about, okay, so what are the triggers when it comes to your addiction? So how can you help that person in that arena? So I want to know about your medical conditions. And I think I want to know about your family history. Is there any family history of any medical conditions?
Yeah.
And this is not to, because for some people they'll be like, you know what, I don't think I can deal with this. But this is more to see what are the possibilities? Because there's some medical conditions which run, and the chances are like 50-50. There's some which are super rare. So if it's something that's 50-50, the question is, do I think that I would be able to deal with this and manage it? And it's a genuine thing, you know, and it doesn't mean that, you know, you're weak or anything, but I think it's good to be informed. Absolutely. I think there's so much that can be said. My mind is literally racing right now. I'm thinking of so many medical conditions in my head. I'm like, bring it down, narrow it.
Come down to it.
Narrow it. But I would definitely want to know medical conditions such as addiction, such as mental health, such as HIV, like infections, if they're taking like chronic diseases like diabetes, things that they're taking regular medications and need regular checkups for. I would want to know.
No, it's important to know, and probably people are thinking, asking such a question, but like obviously on Hide My ID, like I've seen a number of people saying like, oh no, we've started, but then I'm feeling like she's gonna leave me or he's going to leave me if I come out. I think for me, I would rather somebody leaves me from the beginning. Like they just decide and say, I am not capable, because there are some medical conditions where you will really need somebody to hold your hand.
You need someone to be there for you,
and you're better off knowing
that you can't deal with it than having somebody who's just gonna bring your medical condition and your health make it worse. Like it's just definitely.
And I think you mentioned like mental health. I know there are some mental health conditions that run in families, and it's some of them can be severe and some of them can be in mild, and they in mild
they can be severe or mild.
I don't know what else.
No, but I know what you mean.
But and then somebody might be on medication that helps them like keep them calm and everything. So it's just good to know. And probably we need to change.
And when you're planning kids as well, if you're planning kids, your partner may not have it, but it's something that may be passed on to children, so you think about it in that light as well.
That's so true. That's so true. Anyway, that said, it's not just about asking the person, because obviously they might give you objective answers or not, but also trying to get to know their circle. Like the way we talked about accountability partners. If you get to know their accountability partners and their accessible or reachable accountability partners, ask. If there are those questions where you feel like maybe this person won't tell me an honest answer,
go and investigate.
Let me investigate. Like you need to do your own research. But obviously, that said, I know we have said a lot of points in our first video and this one. It doesn't mean like if you follow these points then you can't break up. Okay. This saying, I don't know, but I hear this saying quite a lot. Better having a broken relationship than a broken marriage.
That is super true.
You can follow through all these things, because there are certain parts of somebody's personality that we wouldn't know. These are just questions.
And then over time, even in courtship, even when just before you get married, you realize what, like, I don't think we can do this. Call it off. Take your time. Marriage is not one for. So it's true. You can do but the whole point of doing all of this research and, like you said, investigating, being observant, is so that before you say I do, you have as much as you can before you say I do, because before that you're still friends. You haven't made any commitments before the Lord, so before that you can leave. It's not a problem. But definitely.
Sometimes things just don't work out. So
we'll leave it there. I did too. All right. So please, if we haven't addressed any questions that you think are good to ask before you enter into a courtship with somebody, please put them in your comments, and it'll be nice to have a discussion with you, because I think a lot of people will be able to learn from you as well through the comments, because everybody tends to engage through the comments as well. So thank you for watching. If you haven't subscribed and you've been watching our videos, please don't forget to subscribe. You can do it right now. It only takes literally less than a second.
And please share and share. Are you enjoying what you're watching?
I am.
Please, if you are, subscribe.
Yes, and don't press it.
And click the notification bell.
Okay, let's do that again.
you enjoying what you're watching?
Yes, I am.
Don't forget to press the blue.
What do you need to do?
Oh, wow. It's YouTube, get you silly. I'm a grown up.